In this video, we're going to provide general information on how to access and complete file notes in ADP and outline some basic best practice principles. Before we start, it's important to remember that file notes serve as a record of your discussions and interactions with a client and help to ensure your client's needs are met. They are necessary for compliance. They're especially important to prove that you have met the best interest duty requirements. They are also used by the advice creation team to understand your client's circumstances and requirements, using information that isn't necessarily captured in the client's profile. There are 7 different types of file notes to cover different stages of the AMP advice process, including goals exploration, advice exploration, goals plan presentation, accelerated advice, review clients, ACT file notes, exclusively for use by the advice creation team, and other for all interactions outside of the advice stages. There are some important principles that you should keep in mind for all file notes. File notes should be created during or following every interaction that you have with a client or about a client, for example, with a client's fund manager, solicitor, or accountant. Completed by the person who conducts the interaction with the client or third party. Clear, concise, and comprehensive. It's about quality, not quantity. Made no later than 1 working day after the client interaction. This ensures the discussion is clear in your mind and minimises the risk of important details being missed. Written in a professional tone, while file notes don't flow through to the goals plan or any other client documentation, always write your file notes as they are viewable by the client or other third parties, such as internal compliance, regulators, or courts of law. In the event of a dispute with a client, your file notes are documentary evidence that you have met your client's obligations. They can save you or your practice time and money in the event a dispute arises. File notes should also capture information that be relevant to the client's situation or your relationship with the client that isn't necessarily reflected elsewhere. For example, perhaps your client has a life-limiting illness, which is why they have selected a goal to travel the world in a year or 2. These types of things won't necessarily be captured in the goals themselves, but are important contexts that explain who your client is and why they are seeking advice. To open file notes, go to the client's record and click on the File Notes menu. You'll see the File Notes page has a number of functions. These include adding a file note, searching file notes by title, description, date or author, searching file notes for specific consultation or all consultations, viewing a consultation of all file notes, searching file notes by tags. To add a file note, click on the Add Note button. A new page will open and you are ready to complete the file note. The first thing you need to do is fill in the file note name, tags, meeting date, time, location, method of contact, client names, FSCG and AML fields. It is optional to use tags, but it might be useful where you have multiple interactions with your client and need to quickly find a previous note. These fields are mandatory and will appear in all file note template. More information on how to complete different file note types will be covered in separate videos. You will see a selection at the end that allows you to upload documents. This is for uploading additional relevant information that hasn't already been captured in the fields above. Note that you must complete the file note either by typing or pasting in content directly into the fields in ADP. You cannot type your file notes in another program such as Word and then upload the file. Once your file note is complete, you should either save it as a draft or select Submit. If you select Submit, the file note is finalised and cannot be edited. You need to submit the file note to complete the date and timestamp and ensure the note is not editable. If you select Save as Draft, This will save the file note, but does not finalise or submit it. You can make further edits and additions to the file note later. A word of caution. It is really important you remember to save your file notes as a draft. They won't automatically save, and if you walk away from your computer and you get timed out, any information you entered in a file note but didn't save will be lost. Don't walk away from a file note without saving it as a draft first. Notes that are in draft mode are listed within the File Notes landing page with Draft as part of their title. To continue editing, click on the menu and select Edit. If you need to add additional information to a submitted file note, you need to add it as an addendum. To do this, click on the relevant file note, then click on the Add an Addendum button. The file note addendums are displayed at the bottom of the file note and include the title, description, date, and who the addendum was added by.